Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. If you're new to the channel, you're watching All the Beer No Idea, and my name is Baz. If you're not new to the channel, ignore what I've just said. So, we're heading off to the supermarkets again now, and I think it was Asda I got this from, and we're heading off to possibly one of the biggest, most controversial breweries going, Brewdog, and we have a can of their Puppet Master West Coast IPA. It's coming in at 6.5% in a 440ml can. I think this was £3 or £3.50. Now, if I did get it from Asda, which I think I did, I picked this up as part of a 4 for 3 deal. I know I would have at the time. So yeah, there we go. I hate that new artwork, which is actually old artwork now, but it just looks tacky. We've got the Brewdog glass at the ready. So let's get it cracked open and see what we get. Wasn't something I specifically went out for. I just happened to be in Asda, saw it, picked it up. I know me friends at Scott and Wonders World, I know he picked it up and reviewed it, and I happened to see his review, and then I happened to go out and saw it in the shop, so I just thought I'd have a go. So yeah, see what we get. There we go. It's sort of like a hazy sort of, in the camera it's looking a bit more sort of amberish. For me, this side, it's a lemon, hazy lemon sort of colour, gentle carbonation going up, a good finger of compact white head, which is a good sign. So, obviously there's probably half a can left in here, but we'll give it a swirl on that and see what we get up. We'll pour some more in once we have a taste. So let's give her a sniff and see what we get. Yeah, hoppy, big grapefruit. There's a pininess in there. A sort of bitter aroma as well, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I suppose it smells West Coast, I suppose. Hoppy, grapefruit, bitter, piney. Yeah, so, right. You can only sniff a beer so much, can't you? So, let's pour a bit more in there. Let's give her a taste, see what we get. Cheers. For me, right? You're supposed to have a little bit of a malty backbone to this anyway. For me, and a West Coast is supposed to be like face-suckingly, creasingly bitter, isn't it? It's supposed to be a big old bitter number of West Coast IPA. For me, this it's more sweet than it is bitter. Anyway, let's get back to the start of the review. Let's get back to where we should be. Nice mouthfeel, I would say it's quite pleasant. It's a pleasant mouthfeel. It's not heavily carbonated. The body on it probably could be maybe a little bit heavier, but it's nice enough. It's quite smooth, it's quite soft. But then we get onto the taste. And you get that maltiness, you do get that maltiness, but it's quite sweet. And as I say, West Coast is supposed to be sort of like a big smack you in the chop sort of bitterness thing going on with them. This doesn't have that for me. I've just got the rest of the can in there. Will it change any more? Yeah, you do get that pine kind of thing going on, but you almost get a sweet pine feel in there. There is grapefruit in there, but there's no bitterness. There's no bitterness to this at all. So how the hell they can call it a West Coast IPA to me, I don't know. Is it an and enjoyable enough beer. Yeah, you can drink it. It's all right, as in that sense. But, I mean, I'm not a big fan of West Coast, I'll be honest with you. And even for me, this is not... It really doesn't do the job as a West Coast. For someone, if you like, Scott from Scott and Wonders World, who is a massive fan of West Coast. I know Chris is as well, from Chris's beer reviews. I can only imagine they'd be massively disappointed with this. But yeah, I don't know. Like £3, £3.50. You should be getting a half decent West Coast IPA for that, surely. And for me, this is just... It's nowhere near bitter enough. Too much of a sweet edge to it. The grapefruit is, although you get the grapefruit, is quite light in there. 6.5%, you don't get that all. I'll be honest with you. You get an inkling it's a bit stronger. Don't get me wrong. And I think that sweetness in this beer is hiding that 6.5%. But as a West Coast IPA goes, for me, Brewdog's Puppet Master is a shit beer. Drinkable enough, but it's a typical sort of supermarket West Coast IPA, which is how things are going in supermarkets now. You know, a few years ago they used to release some good beers and they would showcase that style of beers, you know, a West Coast or an IPA, and that they would showcase it. Now what these breweries seem to be doing is banging beers in a supermarket for the supermarket buyer that, in a sense, has no idea of... That might be a bit harsh, actually, saying that, has no idea. But they're not aiming at people that have had decent West Coasts or IPAs or stouts before. That's what they're aiming at. What they're trying to do with these sort of beers, and at $3.50, is just try and tempt people into the game. But I think at £3.50, these beers don't, you know, they almost don't warrant it. So for me, Brewdog's Puppet Master is a letdown. Even as somebody who's not a big fan of West Coasts, it doesn't do the job for me. Would I recommend picking it up? If you're getting into West Coast, maybe, but don't expect this to be what a full-on West Coast should be like. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it if you're on a West Coast. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. Sorry I've rambled on for so long over this weekend, or even on this video. No, this weekend, what am I on about? I'm rambling now, innit? Shut the fuck up, Baz. Right, I'm finishing it there. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you again soon on another beer review. Cheers.